All right, fantastic. Um, well, for some of you have been to Ninja installation. I know I was at the class in Chattanooga with y'all back in 2018. But for some of you that haven't, this will be a maybe some good information just to kind of help you understand a little bit about what Ninja is. You say that to people and they look at you like a cow looking at a new gate a lot of times, where they just really they don't understand what Ninja means. And so, the whole thing about um, being a ninja is that you tend to make things look effortless. Uh, Although in reality, what you're doing, and Jinx and I were talking about this a minute ago, the ninja philosophy is that you attract business to you rather than going out there and chasing business. And the Ninja Nine is really the way that that you do that. And so, what the Ninja Nine is made up of 5 daily habits and 4 weekly habits um, that you know help create success in your business. And so, uh, you may be just starting into real estate, and using the Ninja Nine is a great way to launch your career in the proper way, so that when you're getting your business going, you're not doing stuff that you're going to have to backtrack on and pick up and do correctly later. It's also a great way to make sure that you're putting your efforts in the proper place at the proper time. And so, and then some of us have been in real estate a while, and we may need to use the Ninja Nine to help break out of a slump. Things may have slowed down. We may have lost track with our database and with our sphere, and we need to get those things back in focus so that we can, break out of that slump. Or maybe you're dealing with a COVID slump right now, from coronavirus, and so this is a way that you can refocus your efforts to get yourself back on track. And then maybe you just want to increase your income. Maybe you're looking at last year saying, "Hey, I had a pretty good year, but I'd like to break that 6 figure mark, or I'd like to break out of, into the $200,000 mark." Whatever your goals are, and everybody is individual and unique in that way. But the Ninja Nine really helps us, figure out how to do that, and it gives us a path to do that. And so that's the thing we want to talk about. And they say the Ninja Nine is the one thing. And we could sit here and talk about that, but I thought rather than me talk about what the one thing is, I'll let the best person I know explain that. And that's Curly from City Slickers. So let's hear what Curly says about the one thing.
Do you know what the secret of life is?
No, what?
This.
Your finger?
One thing. Just one thing. You stick to that and everything else don't mean.
That's great, but what's the one thing?
That's what you gotta figure out.
All right. I hope the audio worked on that okay. But that's very true. The one thing is different for all of us. And so for some of us, it's to have more time with our family. For some of us, it's to hit those financial goals that we've set. It may be that boat that you want. It could be that you want to help as many people as possible. And so for every person, that one thing is going to be unique and different, and you've got to figure out what that's going to be. Um, so the goal of Ninja Selling is to help you increase your income per hour and have a life. And then a great quote here, and this is all taken right out of the Ninja training. A great quote here is, "We become what we do repeatedly. Excellence, therefore, is not an accident." Um, and so we want to make sure that we're doing things in a way that create repetition, they create habits, and then those habits just become part of our everyday routine that allow us to be successful in business. So let's talk about the Ninja Nine. Success habit one, and it's a daily habit, and we start with the gratitudes. Okay, and so you want to control your attitude. You want to get in flow. You want to be, in the right mindset. Mindset is as much a part of this business, I think, as your daily actions and the things that you're doing. And so, one of the things that that's important is to make sure when you start your day that you're in that attitude of gratitude and that you feel positive and that you're working positive, and that positivity draws positivity back to you. And again, it's all about attraction. So what you put out is what you get back. The things you focus on are the things that expand. And I think that's the thing that's important to remember. Success habit one is that put your first efforts into getting your mindset right, getting yourself in a place where you're prepared to take over your day. And then number two is show up. It gets real easy, and I know right now I was talking with Lois Richardson in our Oak Ridge office the other day, and I said, because she was back in the office, I said, "Are you glad to be back?" And she said, "I don't know yet." And she said, "I've gotten real used to working from home and doing other things at this point." And she said, "And that's a bad thing." I said, "Well, it could be, I mean, and Lois has been in business for 41 years, real estate, and has come into the office every single day, and so that was the way that she operated. That was the way that she functioned. And that's what made her successful, is that she showed up. She's there every single day, without fail, working in and on her business from her office desk. And that's just the way that she liked to function. And so she's had to learn some new things, learn how to do some new things. And so, it's a change for all of us right now, but showing up could just be that you sit down at your computer at your in your office, or you sit down at your desk in your office at home right now at 8 o'clock, and you're going to put in the first 2 hours, working on your business and not necessarily in your business. And the differentiation of those two things is, working in our business are the things that it's the stuff that we think are the money making things that we do, the showing homes, the going to listing presentations, maybe even networking events where we're out and going and actively participating. But it's the working on your business that lays the foundation and the groundwork for not just where you are today, but where you're going to be next month and at the end of the year and going on further into your career. So the working on your business are the items and the things that you're going to do that, really make an impact with your sphere of influence, with your understanding of where you're at, meeting your goals, all those different types of things. And so, it's hard for some of us to sit still, and it's hard for some of us to just focus. And one of the things that has come up has been this thing of FOMO. Everybody knows what FOMO is. It's the fear of missing out. And so social media has really created this whole new mentality of that's why we're on our phones all the time. We don't want to miss anything. We don't want to miss out on those posts. We don't want to miss out on what somebody's doing. We don't want to miss out on that event that's going on. Same thing that drives people to networking events. I mean, how many networking events do you go to and you participate in that are not productive per se, but you just don't want to miss them because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what you'll miss in that event. And so we want to be there, and we want to take part in those things. And so, the quote here is great. The enemy of mastery is not mediocrity; it's distractions. It's the distractions that ruin many potential awesome lives. And so, it's easy to get to want to jump up and run off and do this or that, and not focus on those little details that are really going to set your business aside and help you to make a huge impact in what you're doing. And so we're going to talk about some of those daily items and weekly items that you can do that are going to help set that aside as we go through here. And so success habit number 3 on the Ninja 9 is to write 2 personal notes a day. Now, those personal notes don't have to be earth-shattering. They don't have to be, you're not sending someone a booklet. You're not having to write a novel. You're just simply writing a couple of personal notes that's may be as simple as, hey, just had you on my mind, wanted to check in with you and see how you and the family are, if there's anything I can do for you, let me know. And what I like to do, I don't have one in front of me, but I like to use the Crye-Leike foldable note cards for those. It's a great way to just quickly write a note out. It brands it, and I use those for almost everything I send out. Everything from my, thanks Susan, that's it. Everything from my closing notes for clients to follow-ups to congratulations to all kinds of things. The only thing I don't use those for is, if somebody's had a death in the family, I'm not going to push Crye-Leike in that situation. Anytime that there's some type of turmoil or an issue, that's going to be a normal, sympathy card, that kind of thing. We're not going to worry about trying to promote ourselves. And really what you're doing when you do those things is you're just simply able to get yourself in front of your sphere. You're staying connected with the people in your life. And how many people get personal notes? Who gets personal notes? Nobody sends them, and so it's a way to set yourself apart so that you're different from the other realtors that are out there just, putting everything on social media. And that's another thing. One of the biggest things I got from the Ninja installation was to pull from social media rather than to push to it. So what does that look like? Well, that means when you're on Facebook or you're on whatever social media platform you like to participate in, that, you're simply going down through there. And if maybe you see that somebody's son or daughter just got accepted to a college, maybe you see that they've got an anniversary coming up. Maybe you see that somebody just had a birthday, and you can look at the birthday list and see who's going to have birthdays ahead of time. But take that opportunity to pull from that information and send that personal note card rather than just put a congratulations on Facebook, or hit the like button. That's not a contact. Hitting the like button on Facebook does not count as a touch, with your clients or your sphere. And so you just want to do something that's going to kind of set you aside, make you a little bit different than all the other people that are out there, trying to do the same thing we're doing, but aren't doing it in the same effective way. And then success habit number 4, focus on your hot list. So you've got several lists, as we're going to talk about this. And the hot list is one of those items that, these are the people that, number one, they want to buy or sell. Number 2, they know that they want to buy or sell. These are people you're typically working with right now. So they want to work with you, and they're wanting to buy or sell a home, and they want to do it soon. So typically within 90 days, anybody that's looking to buy or sell and close on a home within 90 days should be on your hot list. And you want to have these lists separated so that you're focusing, putting your efforts in the places where it's going to give you the biggest return, essentially. And so your hot list is one of those items that you should be doing daily, reviewing that hot list. Hey, am I doing my follow-up? Have I contacted my client? Do they know where we are in the transaction? Have I reached out and touched base with the title company to make sure we're still set to close, and the lender and all those pieces? We need to be doing those to set ourselves apart again, so that, we're creating those raving fans that are going to recommend us and refer us to all their friends and family to use for their transactions. And that's really important because whoever you're working with now is your future. I mean, those are the people that you want to, really be promoting yourself to, so that they're pushing you to their friends and family to help get you business down the road. And then number 5 is focus on your warm list. Now, the warm list is a little bit different from the hot list. So the warm list are people that who may want to buy or sell, but possibly they don't know that they want to buy or sell. So what's that look like? Well, so if you've got somebody on Facebook that maybe they just made an announcement that, hey, we got baby number 3 coming, and that they live in a 3-bedroom house, they're probably going to be wanting to buy or sell. It may not be in the next 90 days. It may be maybe not even in the next year, but at some point down the road, they're going to be looking to buy or sell. Those people need to be on your warm list. Maybe they just had a child that moved off to college and now they're empty nesters. And you realize that, hey, they may be thinking about downsizing. Maybe they're tired of being in that, 4-bedroom home or 5-bedroom home where all the family grew up. And now that they've all moved out, they don't need to take care of that much space. And so those are people that they may not know yet that they want to buy or sell, but looking at what's going on in their lives, we may realize that, hey, there's a real estate transaction that's getting ready to happen here. And it may not happen for 6 months or a year and a half, but it's going to happen somewhere close by down the road. So those are the kind of people that wind up on your warm list. And you may have some that know that they want to buy or sell, but they're just not ready to make that move. Maybe they're trying to do things. You see them doing things, or talking about investment properties, or talking about trying to figure out ways to diversify their income or their portfolio. And so those are people that you can start, reaching out to, putting things in front of about investment properties and about opportunities in real estate. And they, like I said, they may want to buy or sell next year. It may be longer than that, but you just have to look for those folks that are out there. And you may even have somebody that says, hey, my son or daughter is going to be graduating from college, next spring. And they're thinking about trying to buy a house as soon as they get out and get started in their job. And so, put those people on your list, start reaching out to them. Or better yet, if you've got a CRM, or if you're using, some of our Crye-Leike tools to send out e-newsletters, or we're sending out quantum digital cards to your sphere, add them to it. Start going ahead and promoting to those people. Start sending them things out that they can start connecting you as being their real estate professional that they want to use in a transaction. All right, and success habit number 6, and this is really more of a weekly success habit. But it's you want to really focus on your customer service calls. And now these are your people who are referring you. These are people who know you and like you. These are people that you're already in a transaction with. Maybe you've already got them under contract. And again, it goes back to, are we being the realtor that's taking care of our clients, answering their questions, meeting those needs before they're having to call us to ask the questions. So being proactive, focusing on those customer service calls, and taking care of that client is really a big thing. And it's amazing how many clients I talk to that say, yeah, my last realtor, they never called me. They never talked to me. I always had to call them. I always had to try to find out the information. So be that realtor that's different. Be that realtor that's going to take the time to get that client the information that they need. Because these are, at the end of the day, these are the customers that are your best source of referrals. If you're doing your job and you're creating those raving fans, they're going to refer you, and they're going to send that out because, let's face it, your next transaction is embedded in this transaction. Everybody's got people in their lives that they will recommend you to if you're doing the job that you should be doing as their realtor. And then the other thing is client communication preference. So sometimes it may not be a client call. You're going to have clients that do not like to talk on the phone. You're going to have people that just want to text, and that's going to be their preferred method of communication. And that's okay. If that's the way they want to communicate, then use that and text them and stay on top of them in that form of communication. You may have some clients that just want to communicate over Facebook Messenger. You may have some that, prefer the actual phone call, or maybe just an email. And so that's something you've got to work out with each client. One of the things that you can do when you're doing your either your pre-listing interview or you're doing your buyer interview is to say, what's your preferred method of communication? How would you prefer that I actually communicate with you regarding things that are going on either in our property search or in our transaction or whatever the situation is. So figure that out. And that just is another thing that will kind of help set you aside, because it shows that you care. All right, real estate reviews. So let's talk about that for a minute. And this is success habit number 7. And this is something you can do weekly. And it's scheduling 2 real estate reviews. So what is a real estate review? So let's say that you closed a client last year in June, and you know that their house anniversary, the date that they got their house, is coming up, and you want to give them something that basically gives you value, shows that you have value as a real estate professional. So a real estate review is a great way to do that. Now, this is not a disguised listing presentation. Basically, what you're going to do is you're going to go in, you're going to do a property report for them. I like RPR. RPR is a great place to be able to pull a property report. There's a lot of great information in there. And you can go in, pull a property report that will give them, the value of their home, basically what it is now as opposed to what it was when they bought it. And in our market, it's amazing how much, those prices of homes are going up in a 1-year period. So they get that, and all of a sudden they see, hey, wow, we've already got some equity in this house. It also shows them what's going on around them, what houses are selling, maybe what's listed, what's pending around them. And it just gives them kind of a snapshot. This is not a super detailed report. This is not like you would do for a BMA or a CMA, but this is an opportunity to put something in their hand that shows that you're thinking about them, that you're thinking about the value of their property and what's going on in their situation. And maybe you put there's some letters you can put in there. You could add that to it that says, hey, just wanted to reach out to you, send you this property report. Looks like you've got about X number of dollars in equity in the event that you're thinking about a home project or need to get a line of credit. Then, just wanted to let you know where you stand, given that you've been in the house for a year. Or maybe you do that at 2 years or 3 years or whatever the situation is. But it's just a great opportunity for you to stay in front of that client and present to them that you're there for more than just the transaction. Okay, you're there for the long haul with them. And so, and this is a great little quote that they put in the Ninja 9 training. As part of my service, you offer the opportunity to sit down once a year and review your real estate holdings. I prepared a packet of information for you. When would you like to get together? Now, you may have some people that don't want to get together, or they don't have time to get together, or they just don't really see the importance of it. And so they may say, well, this or that, I can't really get together for a little while. And right now with the Corona thing, they may not want to get out or get together anyway. So that's okay. If they don't want to meet or they can't, that's all right. Just put it in the mail it to them. You can do the follow-up on the phone, ask them if they have any questions, and just kind of go through those issues because you just never know where people are going to be in their in that review. And so there's 3 questions you want to ask them when you're having that conversation. Number 1 is, what are your long-term plans for this house? We've got this review, you've got equity in the home, you've been in it a couple of years, and here's where it is in today's market. And with perhaps the lowest interest rates in your lifetime, or you living in the home you want to be in. It's amazing how many people move into that home that for some would be a lifetime home, but that may just be a short-term stepping point for them. They may be wanting to be in a beach house somewhere. Maybe they're looking for that lake house to retire in, or that house in the mountains to get away from it all. Whatever that situation is, or maybe it's a condo downtown to simply, get rid of having to take care of a property that they don't want to have to keep mowing the yard. They don't want to have to do all those things. They want to be able to get out and have fun on the weekends and in the evenings and not have to deal with things that come with home maintenance. And so, it's important to ask the questions so that you know where they are. And then if you could live anywhere, where would that be? Where is the place that you want to spend your retirement? Where is your dream home? Find out. If you don't ask the questions, you're not going to know. And most people, love to talk about themselves. And so by asking the questions, you're just engaging them, giving them an opportunity to tell you a little bit about what their long-term goals are. And that kind of helps you understand, where do I fit in that as their real estate agent? How am I going to be able to assist them? And so there's always stuff embedded in those conversations if you're doing those things right. So that's number 7. Number 8 is 50 live interviews. Now, I know when we did the Ninja installation, we did the, when he said 50 live interviews, you could hear the oxygen get sucked out of the room. Thinking about trying to make 50 phone calls a week or to do this or that. Well, it's not always it's not always about, phone calls. So 50 live interviews are opportunities that you have throughout the week to connect with people. And so this could be that you could run into people at networking events. Maybe this is past clients that you've called and talked to. Maybe these are friends that you're just having conversations with. It doesn't have to be that you're sitting down at your desk trying to make 50 phone calls and have these interactive conversations with people. And once you figure that out, you realize that it's really not that difficult, and you're doing it anyway. It's just a matter of, are you asking the right questions to get the right answers? That's the big thing. So the forward questions are the big thing. And so, you want to find out, you want to ask, how's the family? How's the job going? What's going on given, the state of things, especially right now with Corona? What are you doing for recreation? Are you guys planning on going anywhere this year? Are you going to try to vacation? Are you going to take a Corona cruise? Are you going to do any of those kind of things? And then what are your dreams? What are the things that, you're looking forward to down the road? What are the things that you want to do, beyond your, the working years, or now that the kids are gone? Or what are some of the things that you're excited about? And so ask questions that will draw out one of two things: pain or pleasure. And amazingly enough, people respond to pain even more so than they do pleasure, it seems. And so you may have somebody that says, yeah, well, my daughter just left for college, and she's the last one out of the house, and I'm just tired of having to mow the yard and take care of this place, and da 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 da. And so, this is an opportunity for you to say, well, hey, maybe now's a good time to start thinking about downsizing. It's a great market. We've got very low inventory, and it's a seller's market that'll, help you get this home moved quickly. And so look for those things and start drawing those out of people. Again, Facebook and social media are great places to see things going on in people's lives that will trigger you to give them a call. Maybe it's somebody's birthday, and rather than saying happy birthday on Facebook, you pick up the phone and call them, or shoot them a text rather than a post on social media. That's going to stick out to them a whole lot more than the other 150 posts that they got. Not that they don't appreciate those, and not that we don't appreciate those, but how much more special is it to get that personal phone call from somebody, or to get that that personal text. That means a lot more to most people than just a Facebook post. So that's a great place. Another amazing resource is your CRM, or your database. So if you're not using a CRM, let me strongly suggest you look into doing that. A database, and the difference between those two really is that a database could be like an Excel spreadsheet where you keep keep all your contacts. You've got their name, their phone number, their email address, maybe their home address in there. But a CRM is going to allow you to take that and expand on it and start doing some direct marketing to them, set it up so that it's automated. It's if you're not using Moxie's a great tool. And I've spent as much as $800 a month on personal websites, CRM tools, all kinds of things. And for the $25 a month that it costs to have Moxie and be able to have all your contacts in one place, be able to set them up on a drip campaign just to send stuff to them that you don't even have to think about after it's done, is just awesome. And so I strongly recommend that you do that. The other nice thing about the CRM is it lets you create those hot lists and warm lists that you just always have right in front of you anytime you go into your CRM. You're seeing who those people are that are on those lists, and it just helps you to remember, hey, I need to reach out to them. I need to follow up on that client, or I need to find out what's going on with their situation. And so that's one of the best resources really, is your CRM or your database, just to pull that from. The biggest thing is it doesn't matter what you use, but whatever you use, you have to actually use it. Just having all those people in that location, if you're not pulling it up and you're not referring to it and you're not making notes about when you spoke to people or what what came up in the conversation, then it's not going to really help you very much. So, the thing to do is to once you have a conversation with somebody, have a system in place that allows you to make some notes, to write down what you spoke about, date when you talked to them last, so that you're keeping a record of, hey, do I need to follow up with this person? It's been 6 months since I had that conversation, so that you're able to know when to follow up with them. One of the instructors, or Dan, is it Tennyson, that did our ninja installation, he he said that one of the guys in Colorado, he simply prints off his Excel contact list onto, instead of printing it onto the labels, he just prints it off on a label page on a plain white piece of paper, prints all of his contacts out on that label page, and then he's got basically a method that he uses to highlight those and to mark those so that he knows he's touched base with them. And he tries to connect with everybody in his contact sphere once a month. And so, and by marking it, he knows who he contacted, who he didn't, maybe who he left a message for, whatever. And leaving a message could be a contact. You've reached out, you've connected with that person. They may or may not have time to get back to you. Maybe nothing's going on that they felt like they needed to connect to you. But those contacts, those 50 live interviews, are what you want to shoot for a week. And that's what will keep you in front of your sphere, and that's what's going to set you aside as a unique and special agent. And like I said, look for that pain and pleasure, and see what is going on in that person's life that may be creating a situation where they're going to need to make a real estate transaction. And then pull more than push. And again, we talked about that a little bit with the Facebook thing and the social media. Look for opportunities to again, set yourself aside as being different, and pull from those sources, respond offline, and differentiate yourself when you do that. So, and then success habit number 9. And again, this is weekly, but basically what you're doing there is you're just updating your database. You're looking for property matches, and these are for people that you're already working with. Maybe you've had that friend or family member that said, "Man, if I ever found X, or if I ever run across Y, I'd buy that in a minute." Well, set up that search. Maybe you're not sending it to them. Maybe you just got that search set up that it comes to you if that property comes up, and you've got it set up in there so that when that pops up on your radar, that, hey, that's a search for my dad or my mom or my sister-in-law or my best friend or whoever, that that's the property that they said that if I ever found it, they wanted to see it. And so again, you're just kind of, and those are not things that take a lot of time. Creating a search for a special property doesn't take very long to do. But if you do it and that search comes right to you, then now you've given yourself an opportunity to get in front of those people, and get that property in front of those people. And hopefully, you're going to get an opportunity for a sale there that you may or may not have had.
Hey, Chris, can you go back one slide? Someone wants to take a snapshot of it.
Oh, sure. And we'll send these out. I'll send this slideshow to Jinx as notes, and she can send that on. She can forward that to everybody that was here. And this is a recorded event as well.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I remembered, it's recorded.
That's right. We're on it, aren't we, Jinx?
Okay, I think we're good. Thanks.
Okay, you got it. No problem. And then back down to here. All right, so we're updating our property database, looking for property matches, and we talked about the difference in our database and the CRM, and that's where that CRM can really come into play. I know that one of the great things I love about Moxie is that you can go in there and set up neighborhood snapshot, and it's going to send to your client all the activity that's going on around their house or around their home or their neighborhood. And it just sends it to them once a month. You don't have to think about it once it's set up. And they get that neighborhood snapshot, and they're looking at all these properties, and they're going, wow, these people are really, these houses are going for a lot of money, and we've got some equity here, and this is a great time for us to make a move. And so it helps you get that done without having to physically go in there and do that for every client or customer that you have. And I just really like that. Whereas with a database, you're going to have to physically go in there and take care of those people and manipulate that. The CRM will help you do that a whole lot. So, and then qualifying your database. That's the other thing. You have some people in your database that they couldn't buy a house if they wanted to. And you got other people that are looking for investment properties. And so you need to do something that qualifies those people within your database. And again, not to beat a dead horse, but the CRM really helps you do that in the ability that you have to go in there and assign those people to certain lists and create categories that allow you to see, who are the people that are my investors, who are the people that, are going to be needing to buy a house or downsize or upgrade in the next year to 18 months, who are the people that are on my hot list that I'll need to be focused on today, right now. And so, that's what that will do for you, as opposed to just having a database that is requiring you to go in there and physically manipulate every single field. So let's see here. And then, last couple of things is number one, focus on productive activities, and production takes care of itself. And that's really true. If we do the things to that get us in a place for having clients as we move forward, then that pipeline stays full all the time. I think we oftentimes get way too focused on what's going on today, and we don't think about tomorrow. And what happens is we have these peaks and valleys as we're doing our business. And if you want to get rid of that, get yourself in a routine of, again, working on your business. First couple hours of the morning, focus on getting those daily notes written, work on your CRM or your database, get those 50 contacts done a week, get your property reviews done and sent out, and start creating a sense of worth to your clients that, man, I've got the best real estate agent in the world. They're all the time thinking about me. They're all the time focused on my needs and what I want. And again, that doesn't mean you have to send out, 200 note cards tomorrow to get caught up. You just start from where you are and simply start moving forward. Don't get overwhelmed by it. Don't get so focused on the minutia and the details that you don't do anything. It's so much better just to take something that you can do consistently and daily and do those things, and just focus on them every day. So stop. And this is a great quote by Nick Saban: stop actually thinking about winning and losing, instead focus on those daily activities that cause success. And that's exactly what we're talking about. So, the saying in Ninja is TSW, this stuff works. And if you're persistent, if you work the system will work for you. And that's huge. And then track your progress. If you want to know where you're going, look where you've been and see what you did to get there. Know what it took. If you had a $60,000 a year last year and you did 20 transactions, and you want to have $100,000 this year, well, guess what? You can look and see how many more transactions you need to have, because you know what it took to get that amount of money last year. And so what were the efforts that you put in? How many note cards did you send out? How many live interviews did you do? How many touches did you have with your sphere of influence? And so all those different things are going to be the tools that you use going forward to be able to make all that happen. So that's kind of the end of the slideshow. So I'm going to stop the share. And then if anybody else has any questions or wants to discuss anything or wants to talk about Ninja, I'd be glad to do that.
Yeah, Chris, this was wonderful. I really liked what you did and how you did it. I will say, and I know you kind of said this earlier, when they come around again, when we can do Ninja again, don't know when that's going to start up again, I highly recommend going to that, the way it's presented by them, because he covered in 40 minutes what Ninja does in 4 days.
Yeah, this was a quick, brief snapshot of just one little piece of Ninja. And really, it doesn't do it justice. You know, that Ninja installation is probably one of the best things I've ever been to. And I would have paid 3 times what it cost to do it, knowing what I know now.
Does anyone have any questions? Wonderful. Definitely stick to what he says. Yeah.
Yep. One thing I will say is if you want the Crye-Leike note cards to be able to do your daily notes with, just reach out to marketing. They've got those. They've got them in a couple of different colors, and they'll send you the envelopes and the note cards. I don't remember. I think they're like $5 for 20 of them or something like that. They're not very expensive, and so just reach out to the marketing department and they can get those for you.
Okay, well, wonderful. Chris, thank you so much for sharing your time.
You're welcome. Glad to do it.
Yep.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. Let me see if there's anything else in the chat before I. Ashley says that she's new to Crye-Leike and this was her first class she's been to. So so great. You joined the company, Ashley. Oh, how much is the Ninja class? Someone asked. Says, it is $650 is what it costs, and that is Ninja's cost. Crye-Leike doesn't make any money, and we do have it where it's just Crye-Leike agents that will be attending, and they come from all over. But we have to have a minimum of 50 tickets, the $650, 50 of them sold, because that's what we are in contract with Ninja to do.
And that was last year's price.
That's correct. True. We'll see what Ninja says next year. Okay, so yeah, someone said, please tell us where and when we'll be able to review the recorded version of this presentation. We're still in the process. We've had recorded presentations from middle of April. We're in the process of getting those put on. So I would say about a week or two. It is a process. I've got to download it into my personal computer. Then I got to upload it into a Dropbox, and I have to email the link to the Dropbox out to IT. Then they have to take it down, and then they have to upload it into YouTube. And then it goes back to programmed into the intranet. It's not like boom up. It doesn't just go that quick. There is a long process to get them uploaded. So we get them up as quickly as we can. So hopefully soon they will be up. Okay, cool.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jinx. Thanks, everyone.